He's like, you love me. You've
right?
been, like,
Brad
thinking
Summer
of
never
me.
ends for Sauron, apparently.
I'm living rent-free in your head.
But the rings are beyond your reach, as I will, ere long, dawn to the shores of the morning, borne by a wind you can never follow.
He got to him, man. He got to him.
That was the line. That was the line right there. And what a season this has been, and leading up to this moment, and how he has been cool, calm, and in control. And then that's when he loses it and turns him into a banner like he did in the Silmarillion.
Rough sails. He's about to be born on a wind, am I right?
Hey, he's gonna catch some wind.
Oh no. Let's take this moment to say shout out to all of you who have been along with us on this journey. This is the final episode of season 2. Can't wait to see you guys in 3 years from now when season 3 comes out. But did you know that we have like a Patreon? You can join for free if you don't feel like giving us money. But like now that this kind of is coming to its culmination, we do Game of Thrones content. We have a Patreon exclusive podcast that is that. So just take a second to go, hey, maybe I should follow these people on X or Instagram or maybe you should give them a like or subscribe right now, because they brought me an hour of joy and light where there was shadow and hatred. Have you seen all the articles that are like, maybe we were a little quick to judge Rings of Power?
No, a lot of people, like, I wasn't a big fan of The Acolyte. I think there was some really good stuff in there, but it didn't, like, connect with me too much. But people are saying it's like, you know, The Acolyte got canceled after season 1, and everyone's just like, do you see what happens when you give a show room to breathe? Like, nowadays, Parks and Rec would have never made it out of season 1. The Office would have never made it out of season 1. And you can go down the list, like, you know, probably Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That's on season 30,000 right now.
They came out the gate pretty hot.
They were about to get canceled until Danny DeVito came in.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, he was like supposed to be like a guest star to like help ratings, and then he was just like, I love this, so I'm gonna stay. And they were like, okay.
Oh, I didn't realize. Yeah. 10 out of 10 pull, Ben.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
Ben out of Ben. That's going to be it's a Ben out of a Ben. Ben out of Ben. That's Ben out of Ben is when you do something
The more
great.
she says it, the more proud she gets of herself.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out. It's like I told Ben out of Ben before the show started, we went to go see friends of the podcast, The Greatest Trek guys, The Greatest Generation guys, Adam and Ben, over on Maximum Fun. And they have like the soundboard. They have like the dings and stuff. So like, we're not as like gimmicky as them. It's fantastic when they do it. It's like, oh, you said something sexual. Here's this laser sound. And every time they think they might have the title for their episode, they ding a bell. And it's just like really great. So now I think we need to have something that's like Ben at a Ben. So I was workshopping
like
that in my head.
Yeah, like I went out for a fringe bachelor party, and of course I parked in a lot that like closes at 10. So, and it was downtown, so I'm like walking to my car, and then I'm getting there, and I'm just like, no way. So I have to take, you know, a long Uber home, and then my roommate is taking me back in the morning.
Worst.
Oh, it's the worst.
It's the worst.
And I've got like the little tiny hangover where you're not like, oh, you're just like tired all day and you can't shake it because I'm 36. And my roommate's taking me back, nice guy that he is, but like he listens to those morning radio shows, and I haven't heard one like
yet.
I used to listen to it like in 2011, like Kevin and Bean in the morning.
Love it. Oh yeah, totally.
But now I'm like, I listen to podcasts, or I listen to, you know, Spotify or something. And so listening to that, and just like it always reminds me of, you know, speaking of Parks and Rec, like Nick Kroll, like they're like zoinks and all the noises that he would pull up like immediately. And it's just like, I want to do that. Let's just become a morning shock jock radio host.
Hey, what's up, Ben? It is 10:22 over there on the East Coast, but we're here at 9 a.m. Yeah, no, it's too much.
Yoinks, Caliburn.
Ben out of Ben. That's what I'm saying. We're missing it. We missed the fucking ships have sailed to Valinor.
We really did.
Grey Havens is crumbling before us. It's fucking insane. Anyway, so this is the final episode. Shadow and Flame.
Shadow and Flame, and we all know who they're talking about, and that's how we open this episode.
You don't think the Balrog's flame?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like shadow and flame.
Okay. I thought you meant Sauron. That's what I thought you meant. Am I so wrong? Chat, come on, chat. Right? Am I right?
I said
chat?
that's how we open the episode, and this before, and I feel like this whole opening is like such a perfect culmination to this season, where it's like, oh my god, this rules so hard, but it's rushed.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that all this takes place before the credits roll, before, like, the opening title sequence, is really cool. Again, this whole scene, younger Durin going down to his father. And,
don't follow me. And
don't follow me. Great kiss, amazing stuff.
I love you.
And I love that, I was like, what is Durin gonna do? Drill by himself? And they showed me a mechanism that he was drilling by himself. So, you know what? I will eat that. I'm here to eat it. And so I love...
That's another one of ours, too.
That is definitely
yeah. Bing, bing, bing.
We used to be a country is up there for sure.
Yeah. I could do the thing where it's like, ha, ha. Or like, where they do the...
Oh, yeah, I need a hip-hop horn. Like, I need that all the time. It's so great. So we get that, and then I am gonna miss Durin the Elder because he's such a good actor, and I love, like, oh, could you raise your axe to your father? And he's like, no, I couldn't. And
I actually thought he was trying to play him there. I really did. I thought it was like, I can't raise the axe to my father because you're not him. Like,
I was waiting for that line. I didn't think he was gonna swipe his hand or anything like that, but I was waiting for but you're not my father, or something like that. Because this whole season has been very Two Towers, Empire Strikes Back feeling for me. So I was waiting for you're not my father, that whole line. And then the arm wrestling story is so good. That's great. And then he breaks down the shaft, and there's the mithril. Finally,
Ben?
For the first time in the history of Rings of Power, we see mithril in the mountain. This
was something you were highly critical of, for a good reason, but it was worth it for this shot.
And that's like just culminating. This whole opening scene is like how I feel about this series in a nutshell, where there's so much good stuff, but it's either a little bit rushed or a little bit too far behind, and also maybe raises some questions. It's like, okay, here's all the mithril. This is amazing. I've waited for this. And then boom, there's the Balrog. So it's like, are we never going to see the mithril again?
That is fair. That's a fair. It's and truly, I thought the same thing. I was like, okay, great, cool, and we'll get to like how this gets sealed off. But like, it's kind of sealed off now, so we won't get mithril, right?
And just like Vhagar, who's a system dragon who only sneak attacks like a punk ass bitch, the Balrog only fights dirty and only takes people by the ankles, apparently. He can't fight straight up.
He can't fight.
Bro's a dirty fighter. Like, throw the hands, bro. Like, what are we doing here? What do you, like, you have to trip everybody? You're 30 feet tall. Like, whoa. And you're just, this is crazy.
That's fucking fantastic. A little bit to your point about how great we're gonna miss King Durin, truly. I saw a clip of like all the actors at one of their premieres or something going, so who's your favorite actor to act with in the scene? And you kind of see Ismail and the actor who plays Isildur kind of going, oh, well, duh, it's because us. And you're probably going to say the person you spent the most time on set with during a season in general. Yeah. But everyone, even Disa and Durin the Younger, were like, I should say Disa, I should say Durin, but I'm going to say the king. So even like, Celebrimbor was like the fucking king. It was, so I think, but I think this was telegraphing that he was going to die. I think everyone was like, we just got to give it up to this guy. It's his last season. I think that's what was that's why. Also, he's killing it. There's not a moment I look for the actor underneath King Durin, you know.
Oh,
sometimes I see the actor in young Durin sometimes, which is not a problem. But like, I fully believe that's a dwarf, that he is the king and the lord, and like he gets all his just desserts. And he fucking goes out with a bang. It's the coolest thing I've ever seen on TV, bro.
It's so good, and the line, you know, when younger Durin is laying there and he's like, I never moved my hand. You were just getting stronger. It, like, Jessica hates father and son stuff. She related Indiana Jones to being a dog in Last Crusade. I'll never forgive her or let her forget it or let our audience forget it.
I stand by it.
You shouldn't. It's bad. Like, congrats.
I said it.
I know.
Just because you didn't understand my point doesn't mean I'm wrong.
Yes, you are. You are wrong. Like,
he looked up at Sean Connery 5 times, like, right, Dad? Like a fucking dog does. And then you find out that Indy's a dog. That's actually pathetic.
I'm so glad.
It's pathetic.
Our larger audience gets to hear this. Because, you know, no one was watching those Beyond Middle Earth videos.
Don't say no one. 5 of them were, there was 50 views.
We
Those
love
people are
our
not
diehard
ones.
off-season fans. We
I'm
love
just
you
saying.
guys. Special place. But I'm so glad the general populace gets to witness what I go through
Plus
weekly.
300 people.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
I'm good on dying
And
on
it's
that
the
hill.
finale, so maybe we get 1K views. We'll see. Oh my
Wait,
god.
we should say this so that YouTube pushes our algorithm. The Rings of Power sucks, bro. So that like way we can like
Rings of Power finale. Indiana Jones is a dog?
That's fantastic.
Everyone's just like, I don't know. Let me click on this. What the fuck are they talking about?
They might.
But that whole scene and then him like, I don't know why that kind of wakes him up and like allows him to finally take off the ring, but the moment is just so good that I don't really care that much.
Well, he's about to die. I think he knows that.
I think he knows that, but like, I honestly, if you ever were gonna wear the ring, this is the moment.
Yeah, totally.
You were like thunder punching your son across the throne room. You apparently slew an entire like brigade of dwarves to get down here to mine, and your face is all covered in blood. Is it yours or theirs? I don't know. But now you're gonna take the ring off? Okay, it's a nitpick. Sorry, my cat is going crazy right off screen.
It's a good nitpick though, because listen, we had some really, really great theorizing happening in our comments last week, and I'm sorry for not like naming you guys offhand, but like they're so good that it was like informing how I was looking at what might happen this episode. And someone was saying like maybe they use the ring to put away the Balrog, and that's why it then becomes something that they can actually like what's the word, inherit, so it's not such a bad, which I thought was a good theory, you know. But
it has to be something like that, because you know we've said like speed running corruption, this whole thing, and there's not much with the dwarves this season, so we just kind of the final shot we get of them is them staring at the rings, all 7 of them, and I'm just like, Nerd of the Rings had a good point, because like they brought up younger Durin's brother that's gonna, you know, be vying for the throne, so maybe he gets involved with the rings, and that's how like he sees like their potential and stuff like that. But it's one thing for like the dwarves to become like extra greedy and delve too deep for the mithril and like, oh, we just want all the riches and stuff like that, but just killing your own people to mine and taxing your people 100%. Like there's absolutely no reason why Durin and Disa, who are the king and queen now, you know, I'm sure we're gonna have to, like,
whatever. Yeah,
there's gonna be, you know, vying for the throne because we need them to like be in conflict as a TV show. I get that, but there's no reason. Even like, you know, Narvi has went against him at the end. So it's like he didn't have like sycophants or followers by the end of it. Everyone had turned against Durin the Elder by the end of this season. So it's
and he was killing his own people.
Yeah, there's no reason why these rings should be passed down or inherited in this moment.
So I will say, there's a lot of like scratching head moments in this finale, which overall was pretty good. But there was a couple anticlimactic moments, couple like, well, then what the hell are we doing here kind of things. We got a couple great comments also in our Discord, like, why is Galadriel fighting like that? Like, really things you can ask, what the hell? But the biggest one that bothered me was Narvi coming in. Darren, just so you know, next season's gonna be about this and this and this.
Yeah.
And I fucking hate that.
It was like Alicent we never heard with about her a brother. Son.
Oh my God. We've never heard about a brother. It's basically like, why not just let us think he's going to be king for a second and then have the brother walk? I don't know. I know that they're setting us up for something to look forward to. You don't have to sell me on the dwarf plot line.
Yeah, I will be in for season 3.
Yeah. So it just was a little too obvious that like, well, before you think you're all done here, I got things for you. And it really bothered me.
Yeah, it's like there are other storylines that we get set up, with the end of this season where it's like, yeah, like we're not abandoning the dwarves here. I don't need a coming up next 2 years or whatever it's going to be. There's so much good stuff, and I compare this to Empire Strikes Back because a lot of this, and I'll get to the elf ending.
Oh, you really have been right about that this whole season.
We're ending on a lot of low notes, and I don't know because I've said before, like a lot of this is going to be our heroes getting their asses kicked because that's what the majority of Sauron's rule was until the Last Alliance, and so I don't know how many down moments we're going to end with each season, but this felt like one of those where it's like Eregion has fallen, Khazad-dûm is like gone. We just lost the king, with the wizard and Nori, like what's going on with that? Isildur's been banished from Numenor and the faithful are being imprisoned. Like it's a lot of low moments and then end with that. That's reason enough for me to come back. You've already announced season 3, so like, in the real world. See that. Yeah, season 3 is guaranteed. So like in the real world, we know we're coming back. But in the world of the show, you give like having Luke and Leia watch Lando and Chewie fly off to go find Han, that's all you need. That like it's okay that our heroes got their asses kicked all movie. Loss after loss, they're running, they're fleeing, and then Luke thinks he's ready and he's not. That's great. And with that, I didn't need Leia coming up to Luke and being like, oh, by the way, it's like, no,
we're going to be in Cloud City.
And
or whatever.
It's okay to just like trust your audience a little bit.
Is it possible that it's Payne and McKay going, oh, we're not going to listen to any of the criticisms you say. This is what we're going to do next season. Like, is it possible that they're giving us the blueprints so that they're like, nope, we've already got this all figured out, guys. You're not changing or altering course for us. Because sometimes the fucking dude bros, like how they did that with the Star Wars stuff, is it possible that they're just like laying out their cards for that storyline?
I mean,
for that reason.
If it's that reason, I honestly can't blame them because I don't know if you saw that Disney said they're going to be bringing in fans as like, not commentators, but what's the word? I can't think of the word I'm thinking of.
Consultants.
Consultants. Thank you. I knew it was a C word. Consultants and being
I got a different C word for that.
Yeah. It's wild that they're doing this, and so I'm not saying we've lost the fight, but like we're basically in our Empire Strikes Back moment where we're just like,
I'm sorry, if you're a fan, go to school, become an animator, fucking curate and hone your craft, and then go change the fucking industry. Do it that way.
Why did y'all go on strike if this is what like the? I feel like the strike is
because we can't stop them.
Yeah,
that's why. We're
crazy.
Just trying to hedge the tide a little bit. Fuck, dude, that's actually bad news.
Oh no, it's incredibly terrible news.
Because what do they deem a fan? And is it going to be a diverse panel, or is it going to be their demographic, or like what is also try things? I don't know. Anyway,
no, you can't try anything nowadays. You can't.
No, I know, right?
Like they blamed the 2-second same-sex kiss in Buzz Lightyear for its failure, and it's like, no, that's the most boring movie ever. And your own marketing was like, well, it's the toy based on the Space Ranger. No, it's based on the TV show who's based on the real guy. No, Tim Allen's not voicing him because it's the toy who's a Space Ranger based on the TV show who's played by. It's like, that's why people didn't go to the movie. And like you saw it, like Inside Out 2, just like highest grossing movie of the year, I'm pretty sure. Like people will show up for things. Like,
and if there, I actually always thought Riley was going to be gay, which I was like,
they had notes to make her less gay in the movie. Yeah, I laugh because that's all you can do in these things.
That's so disheartening. Here's fuck. Okay. The thing is, Rings of Power actually does deserve to get applauded just for the fact that it's also trying something. That it isn't, hey, let's remake Harry Potter. Hey, let's bring back Gollum. They're like, hey, you know what? A lot of people don't know what happened before the Rings of Power. And yeah, maybe we're not doing it exactly how J.R.R. Tolkien wrote it, you know, but it's still, they're trying something. And I fucking honestly give them a lot of credit for that. I really do.
I do too. There's things that I have disagreed with and haven't liked, and that doesn't, like, nothing is above reproach or criticism if it's actual good faith criticism, not like, oh, there's a black elf. Like that's not criticism. That's just not. That's racism.
Nope. Yeah.
So like I always respect, like, you know, I need to go see Megalopolis with Francis Ford Coppola, his new movie. I hear it's a mess, but it's a crazy mess, and like he bet his whole fortune on it. Like I think he staked like 2 or 3 of his wineries on it to finance it himself. And it's like, you know what? I'll respect a big swing, and I think it's great that this movie exists. Like, is it great? I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I've heard mixed things. I've heard that it's terrible. I've heard that it's their favorite movie of the year. And I've heard, like, right in between where it's like, it's bad, but you need to see it because this is what art is about. It's just like putting your soul on screen. And it's like, okay, I'm there for it. I don't need, like, if, like, the fans wouldn't have never made this movie. Like, some guy on Twitter, like, is like, oh, I really wanted to make Princess Mononoke, the Miyazaki movie, to live action. So I made this minute 15 AI version of it. And everyone's like, you should die. It's fair. But I know we need to get back to review an actual show. But
so, you know what it is? Here's what's happening. I don't want to talk about what happens next.
No.
Maybe I think that's what's happening. Because the more I talk about it,
it's so good.
If we talk about it, it's real.
It's so good, and this is when you know, like, a show has earned this ending, is because, like, if you had told me, and I'm a fan of this show, but if you had told me at the end of season 1 what was gonna happen, and I genuinely knew, like, generally, like, in a vague sense, I would have been like, okay, but living with these characters and these 2 actors just going round and round, and the slow build, and the, like, this is when pacing and like, slow it down. This is so good. And I didn't have
I'm Vince McMahon right now, like,
it's so good. Don't ever say you're Vince McMahon. Please don't.
I'm the meme.
Okay, good.
That's what I mean. I'm the meme.
Well, let's
like,
speak carefully.
Yeah. Ben.
But fuck. It's just so good seeing him full of just, like, the arrows in him. And I know that's, like, that's what happens in the Silmarillion.
Right.
But, like, it's reminiscent of, like, Boromir as well. You know, like, for like, movie watchers, I feel like that's what they're gonna relate it to, and that's totally fine. And then, like, the line that, you know, we read at the beginning is so good to where even to the end, he is an elf of Eregion. He is one of the greatest craftsmen and the son of he's the son of Feanor?
There's this his grandfather is Feanor.
Grandfather,
or something like that. Like he is a descendant of Feanor. Yeah. I'm telling you now, it was absolutely shocking to see an arrow hit him, realize there's 5 in him already, and see the size of that long bow on that long man. It was frightening and so cruel, and one of the worst torture depictions I've seen on TV.
Oh, we need to get to our season 4 of Game of Thrones. You will see some stuff.
I don't wanna, but
you're gonna.
So I don't know. You haven't played Zelda, right? You didn't do Tears of the Kingdom?
No, I last one I played was like Ocarina of Time.
Got it. Ganon in Tears of the Kingdom has a longbow that's like fucking sick. If you, whatever your heart container is, it does that damage, and it's that big. It's like a huge longbow. That was the first thing I thought of was, but like, what's so disgusting about what Sauron does here, in like good disgusting, like great storytelling, is like still is blaming Celebrimbor for this.
The gaslighting's crazy. Like, I borderline commend the commitment to the bitter end here.
Jesus Christ.
Like, you can't, at that point, you can't talk to a person like that when they are shooting you. And like, it's literally the Eric Andre meme when he shoots, what's his name on the couch, and he's like, why would they do this? And it's like, Sauron shooting Celebrimbor. Why would Celebrimbor do this to himself?
And flicking the arrows. It's insane. I reached a little bit of behind the scenes, Jessica. I was having a very terse and uncomfortable conversation over email with somebody. And all of a sudden I was like, I'm done. I'm done being treated like this. I had a very Celebrimbor like break moment where I was like, oh my God, this is what's happening. And I called it out and we talked about it and they were like, no, that's not what's happening, but I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. But in that moment, no, it'll never happen again. Woo. Yeah, someone please do that for me. Make it rainbow the more you know. But like, once the veneer is broken and once the good faith is broken with somebody that's gaslighting you, they may not see it. They may not change their path, but you will not be victim to it again. Once you're like, oh, fuck that. And Celebrimbor is 100% fuck that here. And I mean, it's kind of really hard to buy into someone's gaslighting while they're actively shooting you with arrows. Like a passive aggressive email's one thing. Like, I'm like, maybe I'm reading into it. This guy's target practice, and that's something. It's awful because it's just another layer of just like brutal because of how sweet and lovely and innocent Celebrimbor is. I don't care that he was prideful. I don't care that he wanted to make the best, most beautiful rings, and that he lied to Gil-galad. It does not warrant treatment like this, and you can't come back from this, Sauron. You really can't.
And that's the thing. This goes back to like when people are like, "Oh man, Sam is so much stronger than Frodo," and like, it's like people. I'm not like trying to like condescend or anything like that, but you have to realize this is the literal devil
condescends. Yeah,
like talking to you and fooling you. Like people get scammed by like foreign prank callers and giving their social security number.
Oh yeah, I got scammed in December, and I think I'm smart.
Like, you've sent money to a Saudi prince via email sometime in your life. So, like, in the same way that, like, people don't realize that Frodo literally has the embodiment of evil and temptation around his neck for a year. Like, the whole time trying to get back to his devil master. And they're like, nah, Sam's the MVP. No, he's not. He's really not. I love Sam. Jessica
There's a reason... Okay, I hate him less.
Okay.
I just have to admit when I'm not right. I'm right about Indy. You're not wrong about Sam.
Stop.
Frodo is so badly abused, he can't go back to Middle Earth. He can't go back to his life. Yeah. That's how strong he is. That's someone who goes, and I'm done. I did this for you guys. I'm out.
Yeah.
So, so sad. Celebrimbor does get to him. Sauron is just being absolutely insane and fucking pikes him on a spear. It's the worst.
And I wonder, I don't know, it reminds me, have you ever seen the movie True Romance? with like Christian Slater, Dennis
No.
Hopper.
No.
It's a really great movie. I think it was.
I was conflating it with True Lies.
Oh, also a fun movie. Quentin Tarantino wrote it, and there's this great scene where Christian Slater. I can't think of who. I think it's Arquette. What's her name? Arquette?
Patricia?
I think it's Patricia Arquette. They go on the run and they've stolen some money from the mob.
No, it's not Patricia. It's the other Arquette with the kind of crazy teeth and hair.
I don't know.
Yeah. There's a couple more Arquettes.
Oh,
and
okay.
Yeah.
And Christopher Walken, the mob boss, goes to Dennis Hopper and is like, "Where's your son?" And is like chopping fingers off and like torturing him to get this information. And Dennis Hopper like tells this story to like piss Christopher Walken off to like kill him. Basically, like, I'm not gonna tell you, but this really hurts, so I just need to die. Wow. And it works. He does just like shoot him, and great scene. Go YouTube it if you don't want to watch the full movie.
Sure.
It's so good. And I feel like that's like, I don't know if that's what Celebrimbor was doing here, but it felt like that a little bit, where he's like, I don't want to get tortured anymore. I want to go to heaven with my soul. So I'm just going to say that you're never going to see heaven. So you should just kill me now. And it works so well. And I feel like that, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it's like, it felt like that moment to me where it's just like, oh yeah, like you get the last word.
That's actually also characteristic of abusers, and the abusee is sometimes, this is getting deep, you guys. The abused will likely spur the abused event on, knowing that it's going to eventually happen, so that they have some control rather than lay in wait for that event to happen, whether it's a physical or a verbal abuse or something. They'll sometimes egg on the abuser so that they can be in control. Now, it's interesting. I didn't quite read it as that. I just read it as, do it, man. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I really do think Celebrimbor could have handled it for much longer. He's an elf.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying he couldn't have handled it, but I'm saying he's just like, this is going nowhere. You should just kill me.
and I think both things are true. Sauron was upset and crying. I think he is. I think it gives more credence to Halbrand really thinking he could redeem himself in season 1. And I think Celebrimbor's like, it's just over. It's like Sauron's trying to end it, and he's pissed. Both things are happening. It's the most logical course of action in this moment. And I think he knows the rings aren't here, too. So what's... Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Then we get Glug coming in. What's his name? Glug?
Glug, Glug. I like Glug.
I think they say Glug. And they ask if he's Sauron, and then we cut away.
No, he says, I have many names. What's your name?
Like, bro, we get it.
We get it, dude. I mean, apparently that's like his go-to line. Like, so
it's
he can't not say
fucking weird, and it's great. It's weird though, like in this moment to be like, oh, I feel like
the next time you introduce me to one of your friends, I'm gonna say that, and you're gonna get so embarrassed, and then I'm not gonna follow up with anything.
That's
just gonna
great.
Stand there.
It's great. I honestly, I can't. I'll fly you out to Chicago and make it happen immediately. Joke's on you, I don't have friends. Anyway.
Oh!
Ben out of bed, Ben.
I'll say it to your cat.
He would respond, I think.
No, I wouldn't. I really want to make a good first impression with Blue.
Okay.
He does matter
I think he will like you. So Glug is like, who are you, bro? And she's like, well, who are you? And
Okay, Riz King, calm down.
Okay, fair, Rizzon.
Right.
Then do we cut to Numenor here, or do we cut to?
I think we go. Let's stay here just for like Galadriel. It's a pretty good one shot. I enjoyed like the taking of Eregion, and her leading.
That's elf who jumps off of the fucking parapet and then just eats an arrow, but he does like that cool slide down the roof and then dead.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about. It was last episode where the captain of the guard is like chucking gunpowder off, like, and the other guy was like flaming arrow. I'm just that's the elves right there, baby. We don't need catapults. I've got this fucking cannon right here, dog. Like,
Fucking A, it's sick. Although, but black, like, that powder didn't really exist until Sauron invented it, so I'm not quite sure.
Maybe it was like oil soaked or something. I don't know what it was.
But it was sick.
It was
sick
cool
as
enough
fuck.
to me not question that in the moment. I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
Truly,
Let's go.
one of the better, like, battle sequences. I did, like I told you, I did see the battle of the in Games of Thrones where they have the fire, the green fire. That was that was an incredible
Battle
episode.
of Blackwater. Yeah.
Yes, that was an incredible episode. But when they, like, in 2 episodes prior, when they shoot off, like, the first of the trebuchets, with the rocks, burning rock flames in the sky, and the way they made us feel like it was effective, and everything in this whole siege was effective.
And you never some of the geography was confusing, but I was never like squinting of like, oh, where is everybody? Like, everything was well lit. It was well, like, color corrected. It looked so good. It was really, really great battle scene. Really, really enjoyable.
You're totally right. We totally glossed over it. Like, this sick battle, brilliant moment. So cool. Good. So good. This guy jumps down the fucking roof, though. It's sick as fuck, and gets boom. And then Galadriel's just, like, really casually sticking the orcs. Like, for as many elves as we just saw die in sequence, she should be having more of a difficulty, I think.
I do. I mean, it was a good moment of, like, an orc goes right up to a lady and an elf and is about to kill her, and she, like, stabs him in the back. So, like, I understand what you mean, but it was just like,
there was not a lot of urgency in what she was doing. It just kind of felt like it felt choreographed.
And that's the thing. That's, like, I like a one take. I'm sure there are some hidden cuts in there. Don't care. But you don't need to do one. Plenty of amazing action sequences and fight sequences have cuts. Doing a oneer doesn't automatically make something better. If you need to cut here and there to, like, get a good swing or, get some good fight choreography or something like that, do it. Cause you're right. Sometimes it does feel a little over choreographed, or, a stuntman is kind of pausing and like, okay, she's there.
There was some pulling of the, cause here's the thing, you're getting practical sword stabs, which is really great. And I do commend the choice here. Like, again, I didn't think of it as a one shot because it's good. And I kind of like when you can't see the strings of the one shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But now that you're saying it, it makes sense because that's what I was getting out of her particular movement. I think there's also an overuse of cutting away during action sequences. There's an overuse of CGI in action sequences. So it's kind of cool for them to go, look at what we can do. But it did lose some of the urgency for me. That's all.
So they go, I think, like, when we cut away is where she leads them up the mountain pass, but there's orcs waiting for them there, and she's like, take me to Adar, like, we can strike a deal.
Oh, yeah, because she wants to go to Adar. It's weird. But I don't know why the orcs wouldn't just kill everybody.
You never know. Okay. Or she says she's got the rings for him.
I know.
I don't know why the orcs know what those are. Or she's like, I have 9 reasons. I was like, okay. Okay, Galadriel.
I'll give you four more, Galadriel. Right.
And then we cut to Numenor, and Pharazon's like, I know what to do. I know how to stay in power. And basically says, kind of twist the whole sea serpent test on its head, and it's like, the only reason you passed is because Halbrand was Sauron, and you went to war with Sauron to help Sauron's people. So we all got duped. And the faithful, you're all under arrest, and, like, just lights the city on fire, like, imprisoning all the faithful. And this is where we need 10 episodes. Like, we went from 0 to 100 so fast. And then even with the daughter now turning back and, like, saving her father, it's like, either, I don't know, I almost would prefer if she went full, like, cult here.
Sure.
Like, that she was, I'd love to see it. Like, make her and No Chin fucking the evil right-wing power couple. And that's what I want to see. I understand to a certain, like the Sound of Music, where like the one good Hitler Youth is like, no, they're not here. It's like, okay, dude, okay, like you're still a Nazi, by the way.
Oh no, he definitely gets killed off screen, right? Like that guy just still dies 100%.
For sure. But it's just, I don't know. I like again, it's kind of like my main whole thing. It's like, I like this in a vacuum. I just wish we spent more. Numenor felt the most rushed to me this season, where like the stuff that we got was really good. And our three main players of Pharazôn, Miriel, and Elendil are just crushing. They're crushing so much that like, I want them on screen. I want to see this downfall of the greatest kingdom of men. How did we get here?
And
what
instead we just
happened?
hate them. We just
hate them. And that's the thing, is that we've hated Numenor since like the beginning. Like I've never had a reason to like Numenor as a whole. Cause like the minute we get there, they're just like, pointy-eared ass motherfucker, get out of here. The elves are gonna take our jobs. We shouldn't help anybody. And I'm already scheming for the throne. Like I never got to live in this paradise of a kingdom, where, just thousands of years later, they are still talking about the kingdom of Numenor. And I don't know why. Like, I just don't know why. Like, it wasn't
Ben.
To be honest, it just wasn't that cool, y'all. I've been there now. It wasn't that great. So, rose-colored glasses, it's just nostalgia.
Perhaps that's the case. Let me ask you a question. If we end up exactly where we started when Pharazôn seized power, with criminalizing or illegalizing the faithful, why did we go through the whole trial of the sea serpent? It's a real stopgap.
It's a stopgap, and I guess
it's cool. It's cool looking. I'm not saying
it looked great. Great CGI, great creature design. It was terrifying. But yeah, it felt like a cool trailer moment that they could put in, and we could, wonder what it was. And I think it goes into, I guess this is like spoilers, for like the book and maybe for the future thing, but we've talked about it before, where like Pharazôn is going to marry Miriel to like legitimize his crown, and maybe that goes into it. And
maybe they don't do that here, because we see her at the end of the episode just in handcuffs still, basically getting her.
Very nice handcuffs, by the way.
Oh, I mean, she's a queen previous, I'm looking at a boy and his teeth. He's sitting on my lap. He's got little teeth. He's got a stinky mouth.
But that's the thing, is that like, I want more time, but again, it felt a little wheel spinny with the whole trial. And so I kind of understand both sides. So I'm hoping that the focus we got, and I feel like the focus is wherever Charlie Vickers is going to be in this show.
That's right.
And I feel
that's a good point.
I feel like next season, he's going to go to Numenor to give the 9 rings, because now he's got him. He's got him, right?
He's got him.
Okay. I just want to,
No, he's got him.
Yeah.
He's got him, for sure.
Got him.
Got him.
And so I feel like we are going to focus on Numenor next season, because that's where Sauron's going to go. And I'm wanting to know what's going to happen with like the Dwarven rings. I don't know, but we'll see. But now that he's made the 9, he's going to go like tempt the kings of men now. And that's going to be the focus. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm glad we didn't, in the same way that Durin's like, well, what about my brother? Oh, guys, I've got a brother, by the way. I'm glad that Sauron didn't like, turn to the sunset and be like, it's men's time now, or something like that.
Watching him like go to Mordor only to turn around again, right?
Yeah.
Like 100%. I also have a sense, because when we saw Pharazôn go look into the Palantir, we weren't 100% sure. I wasn't sure what he thought when he saw Halbrand, but then we learned he realizes it's Sauron. I have a feeling Charlie Vickers will come back looking like Halbrand. So I'm curious about that.
That's the thing, is that he knows Halbrand is Sauron. So I'm wondering, like, you think he's going to come back as Halbrand to tempt Pharazôn, or
no? I think so. In the Silmarillion, if I'm remembering correctly from being told about it, Sauron comes back as a prisoner of the Númenóreans, and so all of what's happening right now against the faithful is happens when Sauron's there. So, like, because then they're seeing as them being tempted under Sauron. So they're kind of eschewing, I don't know if that's the right word.
Eschew, okay.
Yeah, but like, they're kind of like a little this before that. But it does make sense that they do know who Sauron is, because they're like, well, we can hold you because we're Númenóreans, and
yeah, their pride will be their downfall, kind of way.
I think so. And it does make sense that like someone who's as power hungry as Pharazôn is will want a ring, you know. And
that makes sense. Like, that's a layup right there. I'm just wondering like how, and that's the thing is that like
layup, fantastic.
It's I know we're going to spend more time in Númenor, but it's like, there doesn't seem to be the need for like temptation. Like he can just tell Pharazôn like, hey, this ring will make you more powerful. Oh, sick! It's like,
that's 100% right.
So totally. I'm wondering like what the angle of that season is going to be. And I'm looking forward to it, because like, I don't want to know everything that's going to happen. And I'm looking forward to the Charlie Vickers, Pharazôn interactions. I think those are going to be golden.
Imagine, like, this is what I just love about this show, too. We have no clue who Charlie Vickers is before this show. And that's what I really, really, really love about it, is they just said, here's a bunch of actors that are killing it, that don't need to have, like, big names, household names. And Charlie Vickers is one of the best finds of the century, truly. He's excellent. So, yeah, that kind of happens. This is good. I was really touched when she gives him Narsil. I really thought that was lovely. They do the same, like, you know, holding it, like from the movie, again, another movie nod. Straight out. Great. Looks like Aragorn doing it. It's fucking great. And you know what? I'm here for it. Just jizz all over my face and give me that shit, you know?
Oh my God, Jessica. If I ever wanted to show my mother that, like, of what I make online, never mind.
I'll cut this out.
Please do. Good God.
Okay, I will.
But I'm
not gonna cut it out. You know that.
I know that. It's okay. I'll timestamp it and be like, skip this.
Your mother doesn't watch this show. Would she ever? Never.
No, she doesn't. But like, I like that, and I think a majority of people do, but I wish we knew more about Narsil, or had ever, like, think we've seen it like in the background, but has she ever like talked about it before?
No. And she also says, reclaim your lordship, which, you know, I guess they didn't do a good enough job talking about this for me. Maybe other people know or filled in the blanks. But when we get first introduced to him, he's just the head of a captain. You know, I don't know that maybe they mentioned that he was a former lord. This guy goes on to be a king, FYI. So like, he's got to be highborn somehow. But I don't remember them ever going over what kind of lord he was at what point, or if they talked about that. That could just be a failing on my part.
No, but again, even if it is a failing on your part, to a degree, it's still a failing on the show. Of like, we just needed more time in Númenor this season with a lot of stuff, and getting to know Elendil, and like, the actor, he's just good enough that we root for him.
Yeah,
like that he
it doesn't
just
matter.
Like, it doesn't matter,
yeah,
and I feel like they leaned on that a little bit. We're like, it's just,
when
you're
he
fine.
Like
you're
comes
good.
at them with the gauntlets, and like he's like Undertakering them right there. Like, I'm gonna fight you next, John Cena. It's fucking great.
And so, like, I understand it to a degree, but I'm also just like, you need to do a little bit more legwork with some of this stuff, because
give us the fucking narrative monologue. Give us the history. Let us look over a tapestry while you're telling us some information. Tell us how Narsil was formed 5,000 years ago.
Something.
We do. It's cool. This is the prequels to the movie. I'm in. I just need a little more of, like, okay, well, this guy was lowborn or just a captain. Does that mean, you know, like, I just need to know a little bit more. That's all.
Yeah. Same.
But fucking sick. He's going to now see his brother, who is, Isildur's brother. His other son, his eldest son, who's on the other side of the island. This guy plays an important role in what we see moving forward. So we're finally, in the same way a lot of people were anxious for Círdan, a lot of people are anxious for the son.
Who?
I can't remember his name.
Círdan? I don't think we've ever seen him.
We've seen Círdan.
I don't think so. I don't remember him because I haven't seen him since episode fucking 1.
Got it. You're a very good actor, and you're very funny.
Dude, I had a table, like, I was serving the other day, and, like, they came in, and it was, like, happy hour, and it was, like, 3 people, and they're like, oh, can we split the bill? And I was like, I'm so sorry, that's literally impossible. And I laughed, and they're like, haha, and they, good service, they enjoy their meal, and they're like, oh, can we check out? And I was like, yeah, sure, how do we want to split it? They're like, oh, we can split it? I was like, guys, I was joking. They're like, oh my God, we thought you were serious. So I was like, okay, I need to be careful. Because, like, apparently sometimes it just doesn't translate when you're trying to joke with a table and, like, you know, get that rapport going with people.
Yeah, sometimes your deadpan's pretty good. Like, listen, it took me a long, long time to not indicate that I was joking. Because, like, knowing how to deliver it straight, like, this is the reality, is a skill. You have that. And it took me a long time to go, nope, you can't. And then getting the, you know, like, you earn it if you don't oversell it. But sometimes you can give it too straight and you can lose it.
I will remember that from now on.
Well, no, it's fantastic. I'm just saying I'm gullible as fuck. So that's the problem. A little bit of the problem.
No, but like, I don't know. I feel like Círdan either showing up to help heal Galadriel or be in the, you know, the final Elvenger shot, like, just something. It felt... You cast this gorgeous man, Ben Daniels, who comes in shaving with the seashell to give the most, like, potent advice to our main character. He's
the most peaceful person in the entire series. Like, he's who we're fighting for, homies.
Yes. And then you just have him it just felt like a weird, and that's where, again, this show, like, felt rushed with, like, oh, no, we just gotta end it. We just gotta end it.
Wild.
And so that's where, like, 10 episodes feel like would have been good.
We didn't even get, like, a ceremonious, like, I know I'm going to be sailing for 7 years. I'll see you then. You know, like, we didn't even know why he's gone.
Yeah, just something. But going from Numenor, sticking with the men of the 7 kingdoms, not the 7 kingdoms, of Middle-earth, we move over and we see Theo and Isildur, because I forgot about them too.
Yeah, someone else brought this up. I think I saw a tweet that it's just crazy that there's no more connection between Theo and Arondir. Like, that just ended how it ended, and they are... I know that the actress leaving the series leaves a gaping hole. It for sure does. And these two guys don't need to interact anymore, but there's still a lot to mine in that relationship, but they're just kind of like, Theo's gonna go do this, and Arondir's over here with the elves now, you know? And
yeah, it felt like they could have had, like, a very surrogate father-son thing, but they were... determined to not do that at all.
Yeah. And I really don't understand. Now, that being said, when we do cut back to Pelargir, which is the, you know, Numenorian settlement where Isildur and Estrid are, I really like Isildur. Actually, this was the moment where I saw what Isildur can become. I've been kind of highly critical of him being Aragorn-esque, being hero-esque. I'm not quite sure the actor could give that to us. But in this moment where they allow him to be patient and still and reflective, I'm seeing some maturity that I haven't seen out of this actor yet. And I really liked it. And his interaction with Theo is really gorgeous and worthwhile. But it is just kind of sad that they're like, don't worry, they run to your stuff and Theo, we're just not going to play at that beat anymore. So
yeah, it feels like, I don't know if they're trying to, like, replace Arondir with Isildur in that role, but then when the scene ends, like, where does Theo go? Did I miss, like, what he's doing? Because, like, Isildur's going back to Numenor, for better or for worse.
He's staying in the settlement.
He's staying in the settlement because, like, he walks away and then, like, you know, Estrid comes in. He's like, oh, did you change your mind? And then Theo's just gone. I was like, oh. And I don't think we see him during...
No, we do. We cut to him. He gets cut to when Estrid's betrothed finds out she's leaving him on the dock. He walks past Theo in that moment. So Theo's there.
I know he says, like, oh, well, like, he's like, yeah, did you hear me? He's Bronwyn's son. Who the fuck is Bronwyn, dude? Like, no offense to Bronwyn. We've been vocal.
Who said that? When?
Estrid's betrothed is like, oh, this is Theo, son of Bronwyn, like our healer. And then the guy's like, who? And then Keefly's like,
this. Yeah. Oh, okay.
It felt like a strange thing of just like, oh yeah, remember Bronwyn? We're gonna say it twice here. But yeah, that whole,
I totally deleted that from my brain.
That whole interaction was so funny and strange because, you know, Punchable Face comes in and, you know, they hint a little bit to the Ents, which I was okay with this foreshadowing of like, oh,
they're just trees.
Yeah, they're just trees. Go give us some timber. That's good stuff right there.
It actually is good because if you're paying attention, you know that's not the case.
Oh my God. I can't. If this motherfucker dies from an Ent killing him, that's the good stuff right there. Nerd of the Rings is on that he's going to become the mouth of Sauron, and I'm like, oh, okay, I could see that. Is? The son of Pharazôn. I don't know his name.
The mouth of Sauron. That's interesting. Yeah, because he's a fucking cuck. 100%.
No, the cuck is unfortunately Estrid's betrothed in this scene. Like,
the fact that he grabs her hand after he sets sail is actually pathetic.
The man, he's a gentleman. He's not going to make a scene. But my brother,
my brother in Christ, please.
Like, your girl, you just saw your girl come up to the shipmaster and being like, 2 more? Like, they're about to sail away from you for the rest of time to do whatever they want to do with each other.
You can't compete with a Númenórean, by the way. You also they were also wild men for a couple minutes.
This is like you're at the nightclub and an NBA player comes up.
I was just gonna say 100%.
And your girl is like, "Can I go in your Uber?" And then the Uber driver's like, "Oh, we're full." And then at the end of the night, you're holding your girl's hand. Like it can't happen.
It's like the girl who jumped up on stage with that rapper, whoever that guy was.
Oh, and he was in the audience, and they were grinding behind the camera. Oh my God! That is the perfect analogy. That is the perfect analogy right there. They got a video
of that guy walking out. It's unbelievable. But it's like as if he took that girl back. You divorced that girl. You end it.
It's done. It's done. And it's like it's so no fault of your own. You didn't do anything wrong. And you know what? Like, the heart wants what the heart wants. If she wants to be with Isildur, go be with Isildur. She should have
said something, though.
She should have said something. You can't, like, play it off as if nothing happened, though. Like, just because, like, the ticket got refunded doesn't mean it didn't happen, dude. Like, what are we doing here?
Poor guy. We need a redemption arc for that guy.
Yes.
You know what? He's going to get a...
He's the Witch King. Yeah. He's the Witch King right there. I'm sorry. I've never seen a Village origin story more than this moment right here.
I was confused when No-Chin was like, no, lowborn. And I thought he was calling Isildur lowborn. And my question is, because I didn't notice, did Beric end up on the boat?
I think he stayed.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. I hope he didn't.
Saves your damn life, bro.
I'm okay with wherever Beric is, because wherever he is, I feel like he's needed more in Middle Earth than he's needed.
He's going to heal that.
He is.
We're fighting for Beric.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to kill him in the last Alliance battle. They are.
For sure. He's going to go. Yeah.
R.I.P.
But yeah, just you can't hold their hand, dude, right there.
It's so sad. Maybe
and I don't need him like making a scene. I just need him like slow walking away and being like, you know what? It is what it is. And then we all would have understood.
100%.
You can't.
She did say his kindness made me feel ill. Oh God. Like, he's probably a really nice guy.
He's too nice of a guy, Jessica.
Totally. No, I'm with you. You. He went to go build the house after they fucking...
He was building the house! No. The foundation, that's not even a metaphor. The foundations were laid.
Every therapist talks about foundations in relationships. As she desecrated it, man. She desecrated it. Okay.
The poor guy had his whole life planned out.
So basically, I know. And you know what? He won. So Isildur takes off. It's kind of sad. Kind of... No-Chin threatens his life. Like,
yeah,
it's wild.
He's like, my dad's king, your dad's a traitor. Do you want to come home?
Yeah, let's go. for a second I was confused where Elendil was going, but then I realized they will be both on. I just need for them to be reunited. I really need Elendil's heart, just for like, not to rush it. It's being built up and earned so well.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a good reunion for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is one of those arcs that I think they're getting right, even though they're like speed running certain things. Elendil thinks he's dead. Elendil's the reason his friend's dead, and and the mom's dead, and Isildur's been bearing like that and not telling anybody. I'm just ready for these two men to like be together, and so
Same.
might take a whole season. They are really giving us good stuff here. But R.I.P. Beric. So then Galadriel gets to Adar. Anything else I'm missing? Oh, yes. Hold on. Let's do the rune stuff.
Oh, yes. Let's do that, because I feel like the rest is like in a Region. So
I kind of called it, right? About the tree?
I said
staff?
that. Whoa.
No.
I said that.
No.
I said that he was going to get the staff from the tree.
No, that's not true. That's not true. I can wholeheartedly say that's not true.
Pause the tape and bring it up.
Okay, so I just was requested to go back, roll the tape, because he couldn't handle the fact that I was right, and that's fine. Maybe sometimes my memory isn't great, but we're going to see for sure, because Ben thinks he called it that the staff was coming from the tree. He swears. He said so much so that he said when he picked up the staff, he goes, "I called it." That's
literally that's the thing, is that if I misremembered this so bad, I will be the first to apologize. But I literally said that when I was watching it on the couch.
I don't think it's an apology. I think it's like I own you.
No. You've been wrong so many times. Like,
okay. All right.
This is like
all right, let's see what happens. Are you ready?
Yeah.
And by not choosing Nori, which we're going to assume he's not choosing Nori, he's allowing them to fight for themselves and prove their own worth. What?
I think he's going to choose Nori. I think it's like kind of like a false.
Do you think?
Yes,
so?
I think it's like kind of like a false choice.
And I love that. It's
where
brilliant.
He's like he's going to choose.
He's saying, "Look at this
to save his friend." Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because I will say this. It seemed really dumb that there was just a lot of branches in a
lot of branches there.
Yeah, and I think he's going to find his his staff by choosing Nori. All right, the tree.
Wow,
the goon tree.
The goon tree.
That's what it's going to be.
Very well done. Maybe that's what I said. I called it was him choosing Nori.
No, you definitely thought you said that.
Yeah, I did.
but you called it about him choosing Nori. 10 out of 10. And you got me there.
Yeah.
I got us over the finish line, though. I finished the thought. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
I knew. It's just one of those things I knew. Anyway, there we go. Moving on.
No, it was a good call. And I noticed it in the breakdown that when Nori's doing like the cleanup, you see her pick up the staff itself, and she throws it away. You're right about Nori, the actor, too. She's just like not feeling it.
So she's not present, man. Something's going on.
It's so strange because like as much as like we talked about like the stuff that it's not even like the Harfoot storyline. I just didn't like the Harfoots because they're just mean.
Yeah, totally. 100%.
But she was a great Frodo. Like
she was earnest and emotional.
Like she had the Elijah Wood eyes. Yeah. Like she had everything. And we love Poppy. And we were saying like, oh my God, like the biggest mistake season 2 will make is not having Poppy there.
Totally.
And I feel like a lot of people had that sentiment because it felt like they threw in last minute and was just like, oh yeah, Poppy's here. And so it felt like so much of this storyline was kind of second tilt out. It felt like all the Harfoot stuff was. They really liked the stranger. And who we find out who the stranger is this season.
Gandalf is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I loved it. I loved it.
Did you really?
I did.
It was
I'm glad they didn't go with, I'm going to be Grandaf because we don't have the rights to Gandalf or something like that.
Sure, but it's just so... Okay, good. We can differ on that, obviously.
But it felt... And maybe that's how she was feeling, is that she was feeling like, all the... Like, these actors read articles, they watch videos, they see on social media that she was the least favorite of the storylines last season, and I'm sure people weren't as nice as we were about it, where we were very complimentary of what we did like, but the whole we wait for you. No, you fucking don't. Stop saying that. But this episode truly, I was like, wow, this felt like Jennifer Lawrence in the last X-Men movie, where she's just done.
Kill me, end me, I'm done. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, like I don't know. I can't be for certain. Maybe she was asked to play it like this. I don't know. But like, this should have been a heartfelt goodbye. Like, the goodbye from season 1 with Nori and all the Harfoots. A+ stuff. A+ acting. Well done. But this whole end, like, we'll get to it, but that was like the main thing that stuck out for me. I was like, wow, Jess is right about that too. I didn't feel it. I guess just because we haven't spent that much time with her this season.
But you can still make the most out of your moments.
Yeah.
And sure, like I was like, well, why didn't they hug? And I was like, you know what? It's okay. They didn't hug. They didn't want to deal with the forced perspective. Like, that's okay. But these two beings have gone through so much together, and they're leaving to maybe never see each other ever again.
Yeah.
And there's no heart behind it. And
it was almost like I didn't realize that they were leaving.
Yep, 100%.
Like,
or that
I was
that's
like,
what Poppy
she's
was
not going
saying.
with him. Yeah.
Like, I didn't understand. Now, so yeah, let's just track it back a little bit.
Yeah.
You were dead on. The stranger decides to go to Nori, and it's desolate. So you kind of like, something happened here. It turns out the what are they? The Jawas.
Golden Riders, the Jawas.
The Jawas have knives at Nori and Poppy's throat. The Dark Wizard's also attempting to gaslight. Not very good. He's our joke was we have Sauron at home. You know, they kind of had us thinking for a second, like, I'm not that bad guy. I just saved you from that guy that had his knife at your throat. Like, but it was good that they showed us that he like actively killed him, you know, and didn't show remorse for that. That's a bad guy. It's not a good guy. It's not, this is bad. And maybe he doesn't want to side with Sauron, but he wants to do what Sauron's doing.
Yeah, he wants to take his place. Like, it's...
So, I guess basically it is a Sauron type proposal that together we can do this.
And that's honestly, like, I don't mind that it's Gandalf, but I wish it would have been Sauron. Like, I watched, and I would give Nerd of the Rings full credit, is because Saruman was good. He was a good wizard for a long time. He
was a little jealous, though, of Gandalf.
He was a little jealous, but we all get jealous. It's not like an evil characteristic, but it's just like, it would have been a really cool, a cool subversion of expectations to be Saruman. I don't know how they would have grand elfed Saruman into a conversation, but we would have figured it out. That's what writers are for. But like, the Dark Wizard, Kieran Hines, cannot be Saruman. He cannot. He has to be a blue wizard, because we cannot have Saruman be evil in like, whether they're gonna, dematerialize, decorporealize, and come back for the Third Age, whatever they may do for this season. I don't know for these two characters, but we can't have him be evil in all lifetimes.
I don't think he is Saruman.
But like, it would have been a really cool thing to be like, let's show Saruman being good. And show him fighting evil, and then at the very end, in the end of his life, he succumbs to evil.
Make him Magneto.
Wait, what?
Make him like Magneto. You got Xavier, who's just Gandalfing, which is funny because it's played by Ian McKellen, not played by Ian McKellen. But Magneto's like, he's doing his best, but he's like angry about it.
Yeah.
Like, just like his approach to doing what he thinks is good is a little messy.
But Magneto's like fighting for like a disenfranchised people that's like actively being oppressed.
Yeah, but just layer it on them.
Gotcha.
Like, I'm just saying, like, give us the Magneto who's like, give us a version of Magneto who's trying to fight Sauron, and maybe is kind of going about it in dirty tactics. That's all.
For sure. Yeah, like, I didn't, all signs are pointing Gandalf, so, like, it wasn't, like, surprising or disappointing in any way. But to me, it's just, like, you could have done something totally brand new, and I know comparison is the thief of joy, is what they say, but especially if Ian McKellen, and, like, if he's going to be Saruman, we're going to compare him to Christopher Lee, so there's that. But if Ian McKellen's going to come back and, like, play in, like, the Gollum movie or whatever other Lord of the Rings Middle-earth project they've got going on, it just sucks for the actor, for Daniel Wayman, that we're actively going to be comparing him while Ian McKellen is playing Gandalf.
Maybe that's why they did spend 2 seasons not naming him, because he really needed to solidify himself as his own thing. But then the second we find out it's Grand Elf, I'm like, well, yeah, but your beard's yellow and short. But, like, I almost immediately started going, okay, but are you? And that being said, I think he's up for the challenge. Thinking about even someone trying to be Galadriel or Sauron, Elrond, those are really high benchmarks to reach. Yeah. So he'll do just fine. He's so good. You're so right that it's an improvement. I just think that overall with this rune storyline, it was very anticlimactic. Now, the Grand Wizard, the Dark Wizard's like, you're gonna kill y'all. This is what it's gonna be like. You come back to me. I thought he was gonna hold him in stasis like Han for a second. I genuinely did. Like, I'm gonna freeze you here until you figure it out. Truly. Which could have been interesting. But I just like he tears up the steward's place and takes off. And I just kind of thought it was a little anticlimactic.
He takes off, and then we don't see the goon say anything. Like, she had such a great... I loved the speech about, like, the tree, and like how buried her husband there.
Right.
And,
where's
her father.
The moment?
Where's the moment of her being like, okay, it's time to move on? And we get the Poppy... Samwise Gamgee Two Towers type speech. It didn't really do much for me. She's really trying in that moment. I can only take so many speeches in one episode of television, and there was like 3 of like, the light versus the darkness speeches in this episode.
Right.
And so I would have honestly preferred the goon, have her make that speech, because she's the one leaving home. We've lived in this really harsh environment full of oppressive people trying to murder us and take us away, and food is hard to come by, but we've endured. Yeah. And I will be buried here, and so will my kids. And
then she just leaves.
You just see her being sad one time, and then she leaves.
But, like, hardly, to the point where I don't remember that moment. Like, I don't remember that.
I think it was her on screen, because they, like, panned to Nobody and Poppy right after, so I was like, oh, maybe they're gauging her reaction? I don't know.
But, like, give us a fucking second, and let us look at the tree. Like, or, you know what I mean? You're totally right. That's what I mean. There's something about this that just didn't land the bus. Land the plane. You know.
Okay, Fortnite.
Bam, bam. Thank you, driver.
Right. But no, it's like it's tough when you have to conclude all the storylines in one episode.
Yeah, I'm just glad we didn't spend too much time in Rune, and that we did resolve a lot of what's going on in Reykjavik. I think I was afraid that we were going to balance that incorrectly.
But the thing is that episode 9, you do the Rune stuff, and you're like, okay, it's Gandalf.
Bye-bye.
Poppy and them separate. Emotional goodbye.
Give us a little insight.
Episode 10 is all Eregion.
Give us a little insight into what we're going to expect. Don't have Narvi coming. First of all, where are the moth bitches fighting, like, Gandalf?
Where's the Nazgûls?
Where's the Nazgûls? Why aren't they at the end, as we can give us a taste of what we're going to see in season 3 from this homie? I was ready for his storyline to be done, and it's not. Now we have no insight into what this guy wants. Maybe he wants to rule Middle-earth. Who gives a flying
Who doesn't, honestly?
Truly, at this point. Galadriel could, until she wants to diminish into the west. I'm just saying, it felt weirdly weird, and you're nail on the head. Nori could have given us some heart, and she really... I think the actress is tired and is a little over it. And that sucks. Maybe we don't see her again. I don't know what we're going to see from the stores. Are they ever coming back? Like... Which is also
and I don't know if they filmed this
I don't
know if they filmed this chronologically, but like it felt like, oh, this is my last day on set. You know, maybe I don't have like another job lined up because, you know, acting, the industry is tough, but it's just like, it felt like she was just over it. And I'm not even saying that to be mean. It's just like, I hated seeing it. Like I felt like the actor felt so defeated. And I was like, no, like, we loved you. I'm sorry that some of the writers like let this story down, and either, you know, the strike and the no showrunner, we had to rush some things like that was felt, but like I wanted to love this. I wanted to like be there with this, and it sucks that just like even by the end of it, the main actor, our main protagonist for this side of the world, our Frodo was just like done, was just tapped, and it really was tough to see.
And I really am sad to think about your reasonings as to maybe why, because these actors don't live in a void.
No,
they are seeing the things that they're saying, so much.
We just got news that like that fans are going to be dictating what happens in certain shows, whether that's just like relegated to Disney only. I don't know, but that is the most terrifying thing, that in some point, in some corner, that like maybe an intern went up to the showrunners like, I heard online that people don't like the Harfoots and they don't like Nori. And they're like, okay, well, we're going to cut that. And it's like, that's so shitty to hear.
Yeah. Anyway, it resolves that storyline. Gandalf goes to have I loved the tidbit of Tom pouring the cup for him well before he gets there. Oh my God. I mean, I was like, maybe it is for Goldberry. It's not, though. It was fucking great.
The one that it's not even like a criticism, but like when they started singing and like, you know, panning out the door, I wish we heard a female voice. I didn't want to see her. I don't want to see her on the roof. I just wish we heard like a female voice, just like quietly. If you listen closely, you hear a woman joining the singing, because that would have been just like, maybe he gets to, now that like he's become Gandalf, maybe he gets to meet Goldberry.
They end up in a polyamorous relationship. It's consensual.
It would have been so good. Yeah, because this moment was so great. They start singing together. It's beautiful. Just like you said, he's pouring 2 cups, so he knew he was coming back.
Good.
It's good stuff.
It's good
I just
TV.
wanted to hear, as soon as we like leave the cabin, a woman's voice joins in the singing, and you're like, there it is. And it would have been great.
It would have been Ben out of Ben.
Ben out of Ben.
Let's wrap out things with the Red Yarn, because we kind of know where the dwarves are at. We kind of know where Rune's at. We don't know where Gandalf is going. We imagine the stewards are going to found the Shire somehow. Mm-hmm. And we probably will see that. There's still a big question mark in my mind. Like, why are they in this series? Like, really though? Why? Except for that you need to offer it to us as a prequel. They're not doing much for me, because they're also not in the Battle of the Last Alliance. So I'm not saying it have to be omitted. I'm just saying there's still like this big, like, you kind of you're dragging the show down a little bit. Not terribly, just a weird opinion of mine. And we kind of know what path Isildur is on. We know kind of what path the Numenorians are on. And it's enough to make me so excited for season 3.
Yeah, very excited.
Now we get to... I kind of loved this, because I think I mentioned to you it last episode that we did, that there was some fan theories talking about Adar being Feanor's son, one of the ones that threw the Silmaril into the ocean. And when Galadriel's brought to Adar, I actually for a second was like, oh, is this going to be Sauron? Like, I really wasn't quite sure.
Oh, okay.
Because I knew there was some theorizing that when you've seen clips of them fighting and he's, you know, fucking matrixing her with the
crown and everything.
Yeah, which is sick. It's fucking sick.
So sick.
That it's Adar's sword. So people have put 2 and 2 together. So I was like, ooh, but is it, you know, was Adar killed before she got it? It's Adar, but healed by Nenya, which is...
Called it.
You did. Which is, you want me to go look it up? You called it.
Timestamp it right now.
Look, let's go. We need to like actually have transcripts for every episode now.
We do.
This is a really healthy relationship where you have to like keep tabs on like, no, I said that.
No, I said it.
So beautiful Sam Hazeldine. Is that what his name is? So hot. This man is hot. And
we all miss Joseph Malway, is that his name?
Yeah.
We all miss him, but this actor came in and completely like did the impossible of like we had this character established in season. But even Don Cheadle like made the role his own.
Yes.
Like immediately. It's very different. But like he had to do like the whisper voicing and like the hoarse like talking and just like the severity of this character, but still making it his own. He did such a good job. Because Joseph Malloy was like the big standout of like, oh my gosh, like
excellent acting, fucking some things I've never seen an actor do on TV. The patience, the quiet, creating his own character that could have come on with nothing but vehemence because like, who the fuck is Adar? Killed it.
So good. And comes in and completely just runs this moment. Is so good. And
I love, though, this is what I love. He's like, I had another name, but that one was given to me. I earned this one. And I love that he kind of like shut down all the people that were theorizing that he was an elf that they knew. And it's just like, it doesn't fucking matter, you know?
And but I do like that where like
I loved it.
It doesn't shut down the fan theories, but it's just like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, it reminds me of Looper, where like Bruce Willis, he's like talking about the time travel, and he's like, it doesn't matter. Shut up.
We're here
like,
now. This is happening.
We're here. This is what's happening. Like, don't think about it. And I love that. Like, just say, I don't need to see like every time travel movie do that, but it was like kind of refreshing to be like, if you think about this, you're just gonna like fry your brain. Like, it doesn't matter.
And
we're here.
We can't enjoy
and I have
the
a
movie.
gun in your face.
Yeah. And scene. Like, that's such a good point. And it's way, way too little, too late. It really is. And Gloog says it perfectly when we see Gloog being walked in on a stretcher. But, like, I really do think he's like, fuck, I made a mistake. Let's kill Sauron. I'll leave you alone. Here's the ring. I don't need this. This was wrong. What I was chasing was wrong.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just thinking this now. Was he chasing a healing? Do you think...
I think he was chasing revenge. I think he was chasing revenge. So you don't think he was
trying to be a healed elf?
I don't think he was trying to be healed.
Okay.
I think he was trying to kill Sauron, and then, you know, he got a little taste of power, and it might have gone to his head. Okay. Or, you know, he was just like so focused on Sauron that he forgot that he was supposed to be protecting his children and his family.
Do you think he was trying to protect them, though? Because Sauron is such a threat. And obviously, Sauron does want the army. So he knows there is a threat. And even if they stayed in Mordor, Sauron would have found a way to go there. So, like,
he would have found a way, but he wouldn't have walked into his trap.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have, like, offered him the army basically on a silver platter.
I just pitied him. I really did. I pitied him here. I didn't pity him immediately, but I'm like, you know what, Adar, you're trying. And I really thought we could have, a moment where I couldn't have imagined Galadriel and Adar working together. I really did here. I was like, oh, this is a good plan, guys. Way too many episodes too late. Truly.
Yes, truly.
But anyway, Gloog, who we're supposed to be empathetic for, and yeah, you were the one who really were like Team Gloog, like, go home. What are you
just doing? Go home, man. I get it.
But they were giving us, they were handling this dynamic really well, so that what happens next is earned very well.
Yes, it is. That was a really good slow burn of like Gloog slowly becoming disenchanted with Adar's plan, slowly being like, no, we should go. Like, and then him, especially, you know, the big moment was probably like, oh, don't release Damrod onto the thing. He'll kill our own troops. And he's just like, okay. And then he just kind of fades to the back and doesn't charge with everybody. So that was another really good slow build that they did.
It's like Ned in Ted Lasso. That's like the season 3 heel turn kind of like.
Yeah,
that's kind of what it felt like to me. I always call him Ned because of Ted. Thank you for that. It's
Totally fair. But the whole kind of it poetry, it rhymes. Adar dying in the same way that he killed Sauron. It's good.
I feel really sad for him. The problem is he's not going to come back as black goop.
No black goop for him.
No. Now Sauron is unleashed. He's not wrong, and I love that he says, you think too much of me, Galadriel. I didn't have this all mapped out from the moment we met. He was a leaf on the shore, or on the ocean. I don't know, he's a leaf on a river. They say that. Like, go with the fucking flow. I
thought it was leaf on the wind.
Leaf on the wind. Leaf
I know it's
on the
from
river.
Whatever that. What was that show with Alan Tudyk? I don't know. A Firefly.
Was that what they said on that?
I think he says I'm
never
a leaf on the
finished
wind. I think so.
Sure. Yeah, but that's kind of like Brandy. It's like, my ladies, the lover is the sea. You know, like it's kind of like that. Is that what that meant? Is it meant to be?
No.
I'm a leaf on. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on.
You're right though. I love the whole like you overestimate me. It's
like it's kind of a fucking dig because it's like you love
bratty
me,
little bitch.
He's like you love me, you've
right?
Been, like,
Brad's summer never ends for Sauron. Apparently,
I'm living rent free in your head.
Dark Lord era coming soon.
You miss me,
right?
Yeah, it's so good. It's such a good line, and it plays so well. He wants Nenya, and I think he wants Nenya because he realizes he doesn't have influence over them.
Yeah, he doesn't have control over it, so he's like, I need that back.
Yeah, which is good to like just get that solidified, right? Like these are good. I don't know that
it's a good kind of in the same way of like his abusive, like controlling relationship with Celebrimbor. He's like, I want this because I can't control it.
Yeah,
like that's just like it just like feeds into like his like whole abuser kind of like story of just like I want this simply because I can't control it, so I feel it that I need to. Even though Galadriel gets a few shots in, but he's in control of the fight. It like again. This feels like a Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker moment where there's like one moment where Luke gets one hit in and Darth's like, fuck this, you're done. Like,
yeah, okay, son. Yeah, like,
yeah. A cool shot on my shoulder. Now I'm actually gonna like give it 50% and you're gonna die. And you're gonna lose a hand.
When the dad realizes the son can punch back, but he still doesn't have full, yeah,
You're
totally.
playing one-on-one with your dad and you score your first basket and your dad's like, okay, that can't happen anymore.
Nope, not again. My ego can't handle that. Now, in our Discord, Grenz brought up a really good point. I saw it this morning that like, she's just doing bad fighting 101. She's like losing grip on her sword. She's like looking at her goddamn wounds in the face of ultimate death.
Yeah.
The strongest person she's ever encountered. I do like the parallel to what happened at the end of season 1, which is like this, fantasy sequence he's bringing her through.
Oh, the Halbrand change, I gasp.
Me too.
Especially because like he looks a little derpy as Halbrand because we've gotten used to the blonde wig and regal clothes, and then he's just like,
yeah, and
Halbrand.
it's a bad wig too. It's a very bad wig. Like it's too brown. It's not dusty enough, and they do good wigs on some people, and then they just don't. And that was not a good wig.
Do you wear wigs?
Well, because also they were doing bad job on his Sauron wig towards the end here. It was like, it looked like akimbo. Do you wear wigs? When was it?
It felt like they filmed this like chronologically where they kept like physically changing him and not doing all his Anatar scenes all at once. And okay, we're gonna like, you guys have editors. You don't need to like, okay, this line is Halbrand. Okay, change. Go. All right, we're back to Sauron. Go. Oh no, he's gotta be like
it totally felt like that. Like, do these scenes when he's just turned from black goo into Halbrand. Like, he just, cause he looked too clean, like an elf, and like, he just did the box dye is what it looked like. It was just too much. And I was so happy to see a happy, healthy Celebrimbor, but then he was mean. And then he took some big time.
And he was mean.
He was mean.
He was mean.
But I was grateful that they gave the actor like one more shining moment.
I didn't really have a problem with Galadriel's fighting style. I understand.
Okay.
But I feel like in this moment, basically up until the very end when she tells her, go heal yourself, which is a strong, like, I think the closest Middle Earth can get to go fuck yourself.
Wait. When did she say that?
Doesn't she say, like, right before she, like, jumps off the edge that, like, go heal yourself or something? Or heal yourself?
Say that? Heal yourself? Yeah, because what does he say to her, though?
She's like, you want to heal Middle Earth.
Oh, heal yourself. Yeah, that is an elven...
Yes.
Big middle finger. That's good.
And so, I feel like that's kind of her moment of clarity, of, like, finally breaking free of the spell. And so she is, like, still under his spell. Like, she is still... She got Sauron brainworms, man. Like, he's in there.
I don't blame her.
Like, he is still in there, and I feel like maybe next season we will see, like, her just like rising, like her awakening of the Galadriel, of the Cate Blanchett Galadriel that we know and love.
Totally.
Because like the brainworms are finally gone. But the fighting made sense for me. I'm not saying it wasn't frustrating to see her like wildly swing and lose control and like.
But looking at the wounds was too much, is all I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
that's bad form.
It felt again like we saw her get cut. She's wearing white. We can see the blood. Just like trust your audience to know that she
like for her to grab it and then like look at the shoulder is kind of just wild to me. And maybe he's not trying to kill her also, so maybe she knows she can look at it, but it's way too much indication. It's way too much.
It's too much.
Now, how does she survive that fall?
I don't know. Okay. I see that she like hits trees on the way down. I don't know, but I just like I'm so glad they didn't see her thump. But
do you see the wake she left though too? She made a fucking crater.
So I'm guessing it was the ring. And I feel like
didn't have it on her. She had it in her
in her hand. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly have no idea.
Right. I can listen. That's one I can give them. And for as happy as this next one is going to make me, I don't give them the lack of explanation of Arondir being fine.
Yeah. He's not even like, he doesn't have a cut in his armor.
He's not got a wound.
There's no blood.
I'm just saying.
He's not even like, he's not even holding his stomach wherever he got stabbed.
Nope. And yeah, he's got a wooden plate but it looked like Adar got it right underneath it.
Yeah.
And he was down. And the thing is, we did not see a last breath thing. I didn't think he was going to die.
I didn't think he was going to die either, but like.
He shouldn't be okay. He shouldn't be
fine.
Doing better than Elrond here. It's just not right. Although it is, our men's looking good. We got Gil-galad, who is also war torn.
Boys right there.
Oh, we got Elrond, who is full Hugo weaving, full and fucking doing his job as the lore master, trying to preserve his daddy killer Brimbor's prized possessions and works. And then Arondir comes in looking better than the day he met Bronwyn. I don't know. I really don't know.
He is literally like Legolas embodied, because all Orlando Bloom does is just like.
Yeah.
And so that's all Arondir's doing. Like, I'm not insulting the actor whatsoever, but just like, no matter what happens, the man doesn't stop mewing throughout.
You know what it is? It's like he mews so that the arrow doesn't hit him.
Right, yeah.
Like, it's how he like turns himself into sideways. I don't know. It's good. I love him. They should never have killed him or attempted to make, like, they won't kill him. Please don't. I love her. He's our baby. He's the heart and soul. I love him.
And now he's with the A team. He's not like, guarding some like southern tower or something like that.
And it's just right place, right time, following your heart. Heartbroken homie. I am all in on it.
It's all about who you know, and now he knows like all the CEOs and stuff like that. Like, our boy is in there like swimwear, dude.
Breaking the glass ceiling,
absolutely.
My bro. And I'm in for it. I'm all about it. Ismail is the king, because he got a lot of hate. And that man don't deserve it.
I love Gil-galad's. It's already been memed where he just goes, dwarfs. Just like, he's so good, and he's such a, like, I know, Tom Cruise is like 5'6", but he's been an action hero for like 40 years.
Sure.
But like a lot of actors are short, but it's been something, and just like, he's a big guy. I think he's like 6'3", and so like him in armor, he's just like, dum 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 dum, like that. It was almost unrealistic that these tiny little like 5-foot orcs are like, man, don't you move. I'm just like, this guy would catapult you into the fucking sun if he wanted to.
Wow.
But I love like when they like turn the table and like snaps necks and cashing checks, and it's so great.
It's so good. It's on like Donkey Kong. It really is. It's really wonderful. I was so confused though, and it was a little speciest or racist for Elrond to go, Durin? Just first to some rant, like, is Narvi wearing Durin's armor?
I think
what
that
the
was
hell is that?
I think that was the thing, is that it felt like, I think Narvi was leading the army. he was like the general, so like Elrond expected Durin to be leading the army.
Thank you. That clarifies things. It seemed like a little bit of a leap in logic, but
I think he's still a little bit shell shocked, from being like Durin will come, and then the dwarves show up, so he's just like every dwarf he sees like Durin.
Like he's flipping them around during. He's like, totally. I didn't know if it was just like, oh, there's a shorty. Like, but maybe we do see like Narvi directing something. And
again, it like the editing here like felt like a little rush, where it's just like, oh, suddenly they're just like on the walls, they're everywhere and everything. But I was fine with it.
It was a good subversion of expectations. I actually didn't expect them to come at all. But it was a really nice opportunity to see how the elves get out of this one. And I think it's a realistic way of how the elves get out of this one. And now it doesn't set us on this journey where Elrond's just mad at Durin. And so even though he like might be heartbroken or confused still that like they didn't come when they said they would. Yeah. There's more space for them to still have friendship.
It seemed like he was like maybe an hour late. Like it wasn't a long time.
That's a very good point.
And that's kind of like the passage of time thing. Like he expected him at dawn, and he came at like, I don't know, 8:30 maybe?
Noon. It was probably noontime.
Yeah, it's right.
Actually, because by the time he's like getting dragged by Adar, it's like 2 minutes. It's from last episode to this one.
It's not long. Yeah. That's the thing.
So it's literally 45 minutes late. You're totally right.
He's like fashionably late. He's like LA late. Like there's like traffic on the 405 or something like that.
And honestly, I like them more when they're fashionably late.
Exactly. You don't want to show up to a party at 6. Like you show up at 6:30.
We call it Verdi time, where like our uncle would be like, I'm down the street and he's not left yet.
Exactly.
And I totally get it. You are so right. So here's my question to you.
Okay.
Galadriel lives. Fine. She jumps off a cliff. Fine. It's gonna take Elrond and Gil-galad and Arondir about the same time to get to Galadriel as it might be for Sauron to scale down and get down that mountain to go get her too. He got up there pretty quickly. Why doesn't he go down there?
I think because the dwarves show up and the tide like kind of turns in the battle, so he's losing.
Oh, so he doesn't have he doesn't have enough in case they all go.
Yeah, because I think right after she falls and they see it, Glue does come up and says like, the dwarves show up and we're losing the city. If we try and chase them, like we'll lose a lot of numbers. And then he stabs him. I think that was kind of the thing. Again,
he's pissed because he knows he can't go down there.
Yeah, and also it's kind of a saying of like him saying like, I don't care how many of you die. I'm not Adar. Like you are just tools. You are fodder for me. And that was kind of like the saying where like, we need to get rid of this one orc that has a family. It's just like,
yeah, no, and poor Glug's kid's just gonna grow up fatherless. And Sauron don't give a fuck. Doesn't give a fuck.
He doesn't give a shit.
And they made such a bad call. They made such a bad call to turn on Adar. They really did.
They're gonna regret it.
They're due. But now there's literally no other option for them now. Yeah. There's not another Adar 2.0 for them to go, well, can you be our leader?
Yeah, can you be the union rep? Like,
Daddy? Not gonna happen. So here's one other sticking point for me.
Okay.
I love that Elrond's like, we can heal her. And Gil-galad's trying, and she got stabbed by a Sauron sword, so like...
It was with the crown. It was Morgoth's crown.
Oh, thank you. That's even more important. Yeah. That was a brutal moment, just like getting that dug into her.
It's tough. It looked good.
It was good. It worked. She's killing it. She's such a good actress. She really is wonderful. She does a little bit too much with her eyes, and she's trying to cry, but like she's still great. I really like her. Anyway, we see Gil-galad like struggling, turns the ring. I fucking loved that, like because it gets askew. Maybe it doesn't fit exactly right. I don't know.
No, I think he turns it to like hide it from the orcs. I think he turns it to hide it from the orcs. And then he turns it back.
We see him turn it before. Yeah. I didn't know if it's just because it's not fitting. Good to know. That's a really good pull. Okay, so he turns it back, and he doesn't have enough. Maybe Círdan was fucking there, right? But he doesn't have enough strength, and we see Elrond make the choice to use Nenya. I think he figures that it's not as bad. Why didn't Elrond suck all of the darkness out of Frodo? If this is what Nenya or one of these rings could do?
Again, Galadriel's built different. He's a little hobbit, and she's an elf that has seen the light of the trees. Is that what you think? I think so.
Okay. Listen, I'll give it to you. I want to actually ask the audience.
Elrond did suck all the evil out. He just like
it was a wound that would never heal fully.
Yeah, it's like it's a scar that he feels, but like all the evil's gone. There's no like dark magic in Frodo anymore.
I don't know,
and also,
he's
not like that's. I think that is absolutely the answer. Is that he is not Galadriel.
So that's So that's why the leaf woke the Balrog, because that was an elven leaf. You know
I
what
hurt
mean?
my ankle a few years ago, and it still hurts. If LeBron James hurts his ankle, he's gonna be fine. And Galadriel is LeBron, and Frodo is me.
Understood. And I think that's fair. I still want to open it up to the audience if that pinged for them like it did to me. The other thing I was kind of... where do you think the Haven is that they...
That's Rivendell.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, it's Ithilien.
Probably right. For a second, I thought it was Lothlorien because he gives her back the Nenya, and that's how she builds Lothlorien, is using Nenya.
I could see that. It just looks like Rivendell to me. Like the rivers are there and everything. And I think of towering trees when I think of Lothlorien. I didn't see any of those. So
yeah, that's totally fair.
It felt very like they say hidden, and it isn't Ithilien like Elvish for Hidden Valley or something like that.
Oh sure, but also Lothlorien you really can't get to. But
yeah.
I just thought I could see it going both ways. I think I did land on Rivendell. I was just curious if you had a similar the Nenya part of it. And her being able to build that is what I was confused about.
And also, like, Lord of the Rings brought this up, like, the way Elrond puts the... Okay, first we're gonna go, like, in chronological order. When she wakes up, holy Amex fucking platinum face card. Good God. Morfydd Clark and Emma Darcy need to just have, like, a face-off. And I mean that in the most literal sense, because they cannot be denied. They cannot be denied. Like... undisputed champions of the world. I know people didn't, the season 2s are going to be going face to face every single time they come out. It seems like they're going to be back to back all the time.
Totally.
And we are better for it.
Yeah, we are a country because of these.
We are a country because of these two faces. Mount Rushmore, get the fuck out of the way. We got new ones to build. Okay.
Yep.
And these two are going to be on it.
Yes.
And then Ben Daniels, that's his name. Ben Daniels, Gil-galad saying, "Oh, you're awake. I've never enjoyed your company more than when you were asleep." That is... I laugh so fucking hard. That is the sickest, like, C-wordiest burn. I can't say that word on this stream.
That's fine.
I'll say the huntiest burn.
It's a hunty burn. It's because that's not...
the kingdom of Eregion is gone. The greatest builder, Celebrimbor, is dead. Sauron is back. Like, the dark is, like, protruding throughout the land, and this queen goes, you're awake. I liked you better when you were quiet. I'm sorry I ever doubted you, Ben Daniels as Gil-galad. I was not familiar with your game, and I take everything back. Please forgive me. I don't know if that was improv or that was written, but that is so funny.
What I love, too, is that he's got a new gray streak that we've never seen. He's been stressed out.
And so he's been enjoying this peace and quiet.
Daddy is sassy. You know what it is? Elrond maps his personality bases it on Gil-galad after he dies. He's like, you know what? That's a guy. That's a man. He takes notes.
He does.
Really. You're so right. It's a great moment. It's a good moment of like, oh shit, we just went through some shit, but we still have this elven heart. And
yes.
I love this moment with like Sword of the Shield, man. What are we doing? And I don't love that it kind of like, listen, we love and revere Galadriel. I still don't quite understand why these people do, but like, or these elves do, but they like, cause she's not like a queen, she's not, but I guess she was the general. So they still look up to her. All I'm saying is the show hasn't given me enough reason as to why Galadriel is this pinnacle of elf. That's all.
I think, again, it seems like to be like the turning point. Like, she's up there on the mountain with, the Elrond and Gil-galad, and Círdan should be up there as well, but he's not. But our boy Arondir is, so we're happy about that. And I do love that, Gil-galad is the one that raises the sword. I love that we don't. Yeah, he has to be, but I love that, we don't really get an answer. Sword or shield. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen with that.
No, I think that means sword.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what that means.
But I feel like they're going to build this hidden kingdom, so I feel like,
I think both things have to happen. I think the point is they could hide here and not help. But I think what that was we're still going to fight back.
Yeah.
As opposed to lick our wounds. Because time, again, works differently for them, right? They could just let this all play out and just be okay in Middle-earth, in this hidden sanctuary. And I was like, guys, your numbers are so low. Your morale is so low.
There's like 50 people there.
Why are we fighting? But, and this is the sign of an amazing actor, too. Gil-galad turns his whole ass back to the camera for a good 30 seconds. That man doesn't even need to be on screen with his face. And he's like, I'm still giving you all the acting you need. Like, nothing better than a power move like that, I think.
The only thing I'll say about this scene is that the season should not have ended on this shot. The season should have ended on Sauron marching with his orcs.
Why?
Because we lost. And I'm in for this.
I understand.
Downer of an ending, but you got to commit.
You got
to
to make us feel down.
Like,
yeah, head towards Pelargir. Head,
and something like that. Or if you want to end on this, you still have to show like Sauron marching, because the last thing we see is the dwarves coming out and him killing Glute or whatever. Like, we're still like winning, but I want to see us, the last thing we see of Empire Strikes Back is like this hopeful shot of all of our heroes and flying off to go find Han. Okay, so you want to end on hopefulness. I'm fine with that. But you got to show me, like, they say like, oh, Sauron has dominion over this and he's like kind of running free. So what do? I want to see that.
Okay.
I want to see the armies not like pillaging or something, but I want to see them marching. That's it. Might be my own personal thing.
Listen, I'm taking it in, and I think it's a fair thing. But I feel like it's been too reminiscent of watching him walk towards Mordor. So I think I think they just wanted. I think they could have given us a moment where they're like, sword or shield, man, like, and maybe not make that decision at the end. I'm just saying, like, yeah, maybe we don't 100% align on this, but I can see both arguments. It didn't bother me.
It didn't bother me like too much either, but I was just like, oh, okay. Like we've been ending on this downer thing, but like they can't end on it. But overall, I thought it was a very solid finale. So
let me put it this way. Yeah. And Ben and I are going to do a couple things before we finish off our Rings of Power journey. We are going to do a full episode of our feelings about this season as a whole, now that it's all culminated towards the season finale of season 2. We're also kind of going to do like what we're hoping for in season 3, what we think we're going to get. Like, again, the show kind of telegraphed some of that, but like, now that we know the show's solid, like, we can actually live in a world where we're not asking for it to be good. Now it just gets to be good. So yeah, we'll do a whole episode recapping everything and revisiting. We'll also do a rewatch along of this final episode on Monday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Central time, 9 p.m. Eastern time on this YouTube channel.
Monday October 7th.
So if you want to join us for that, just kind of, no pressure. You've probably already seen it. If you haven't seen it yet, like, probably watch it before you watch with us. Because we're going to talk and stuff.
That's the thing. Like, we're going to be chatting throughout the episode. So that it's kind of like a friendly, like, oh, let's talk about this moment. Like, we can talk and, we'll talk with you guys in chat and, like, hang out. And, like, we don't have to be quiet for every moment or, like,
just
oh my gosh, this moment. Like, yeah. Like,
just we're going to be for that.
We're going to be yapping. But
my point in prefacing all of that now is to say that we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about this episode overall, because we're going to be doing that. But this was a good wrap up of some stuff, whereas I was afraid they were going to leave a little bit more undone. Some things were anticlimactic. Some things I'm like, ooh, come on, we just need a little more. But I think I got enough.
That's the thing, is that we can say 10 episodes all we want. We didn't get it. So it is what it is. We just kind of have to live in the reality of the world. But for what we got, they did a damn good job.
And I'm here for it. And, I saw a couple memes that were like, season 2 of House of Dragons is worse than this. And you know what? It doesn't really actually matter.
It doesn't matter.
It actually doesn't, because they're totally different shows. But I'm really proud of what Rings of Power is doing, because they're like, you don't know what we're doing. We're building to it. And I think this is what you get when you have a little bit of trust in your showrunners.
Mm-hmm.
And they laid out a 5-year plan. Or
yes.
five seasons.
5-season plan. God, I wish it was a 5-year plan.
You know what I mean? Totally.
Yeah.
And maybe we couldn't get all this epicness and beautiful today or whatever. Maybe not. So maybe I can forgive that a little bit. But they pitched 5 seasons. And maybe they're making pivots here and there. But that was where episodes 1 through 3 failed. They didn't have what the ending of 3 was going to be.
Yeah.
You know? And that fucking sucked. And it made it a bad trilogy. This is working because they're like, oh no, you guys are probably, it's just slow, but just wait. So they're doing a great job. I'm in. I love it. It's only getting better from here. We love that you guys are on this journey with us, and we're so glad if you found us. We do stuff outside of just Rings of Power, usually Lord of the Rings centered, but like I said at the beginning of the show, you can join us for our Game of Thrones podcast over at our Patreon for just $5 a month. It's free for 7 days to join, just to listen to it, to see if you want to like it. But also, $5 a month really goes a long way to support Ben and I and let us know that you're enjoying this. Also, if you can't afford monetarily to support us, a retweet, a like on this podcast or, this episode, a review wherever you're listening. If you're listening to this, a comment, these all help. And you're doing it. I'm just encouraging you, letting us know that we also read them. We're involved. We really love this community we're building.
I hope all of y'all show up for the live stream, because reading comments is one thing, but I'd really I feel we're such a small channel
too.
We're such a small channel, but we get, the amount of comments to views we get is a pretty good ratio. So I'd love to see you guys in chat and actually talk about this season, talk about this finale, and we're going to talk about what we want for season 3 in our last episode for this season. But we could talk about it on the live stream too. And maybe we'll just repeat some points, and maybe we'll steal some of your points and take credit for it. It'd be great.
Like Ben tried to take credit for me saying how Gandalf got his staff. We want to shout out Jesse Glaspie, who is a supporter of our show at the 3 Rings for Elven Kings tier on our Patreon. You too can also get a shout out if you sign up at that tier. But again, the $5 tier is when you got to get the most value out of what we offer. Ben, if they're watching on YouTube, I guess we kind of already said it, but anything else our friends should know?
Leave a comment, leave a like, guys. Thank you guys. We got 2 more things to do before we wrap up this season. And I'm really excited to do those things. But if this is the last video you guys watch of us, then thank you guys so much for all the comments, all the recommendations, all the corrections. I really enjoyed this season. And I was like, they better put the pedal to the metal. And they definitely did. For better or worse, they definitely did this season. So I'm really excited to talk about it.
Absolutely. And Ben, in case you didn't know, I absolutely love doing this show with you. So it's not pulling teeth to do something like this with you, especially
not
for
at all.
So I'm glad that we get to have the privilege of doing this together. And until next time,
may our paths meet again.